All right, welcome back to the State of the Lakers podcast, everybody. Coming to you on a Saturday evening. No Laker game tonight, but Francis Ngannou just knocked Stipe Miocic the fuck out in UFC. I think we're all watching that. But the Lakers played last night. They got a big win over the Cavaliers. Only big because we really needed that win. And tonight we're joined by our most frequent guest of the show, Martin. How's it going, dude?
Man, I'm doing well. Yeah, just kind of in the same boat, bro. I was just watching the UFC fight.
I
Uh,
know. No Laker games Saturday night. It's UFC time.
it's UFC, but real good win, man. Friday, big win, a very important win. So I'm happy they got that dub, man.
Yeah. What do you think about that game? You're able to watch most of it, yeah?
Yeah, for starters, the Cavs suck. I mean, my goodness, they are bad. I wish we could play them 7 more times.
Thank goodness they're bad.
they they are smelly, man. Having
Mhm.
said that, every win is crucial, bro. Every single win, and that's still an NBA team. Um, yeah, shout out to Montrezl Harrell and Dennis
Big time.
Schroeder. They stood out to me about Friday night. They were really well. They were kind of the catalyst for us.
Mhm.
We still got to tighten some things up, but defensively, I thought we were okay. Again, a lot of that was some really bad Cleveland offense, but I'm going to take a win. I'm not going to apologize for a win. But yeah, I thought Schroeder and Montrez were probably the co players of the game.
Yeah, I'd say Trez is probably the MVP of that, man. I mean, he really pushed us over the edge and kept us over it when we had all that defensive energy in the third quarter, and he just kept it up, dude. What I like about Trez is, man, he'll bring at minimum what you would expect Trez to bring. You know, it's not like Kuz where we know he's got all this offensive potential, but hey, he might miss some shots and he might get out of his offensive rhythm, and so he only has like, like what, 5 points. He didn't finish with much that night either, I think. But the good thing about him, obviously, we've talked about a ton on this show. He's been bringing it on defense and in rebounding, which is what he's got to do if his shots doesn't fall. But what I appreciate about Trez is his consistency, man, 100%. He's going to bring you energy. He's not going to be your best player on the team. He might be your best player of the night, but he'll bring you that big energy. He'll bring you those rebounds, and he led the team with 24, I believe. What did you think of that first half, man? I thought that shit was rough.
Yeah, first half was definitely the when I got pretty nervous. I thought, we were
I was
struggling.
miserable.
I
It
was
was the Philly
really
game all over again.
I was really miserable and nervous because, we go down, 6 and then 7 and then 8, and I'm thinking, like, if they don't win this game, like, I'm struggling to find wins.
I know. I'm like, bro, relegate these Lakers if we're not going to beat the Cavs and we're going to lose by 30 to the Pelicans. Like, put us in the G League for a second. Like, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
just like the Premier League, we got to get some professional leagues like basketball and football relegating like the Premier League, man.
That's a big thing of mine too. Little tangent. I think if you're going to be bad for that long, you got to get relegated. You got to get moved down. A few
Dude,
teams would have
I
been
think
relegated by now.
I won't go like too much into relegation, but it is an awesome idea. And when you see in soccer how much money is made for like that final game, for the team that
Is on the
eventually,
cusp of relegation.
yeah,
I don't know anything
it's
about it
it's on the
actually, but that
cusp,
makes
and then the
sense.
team that the team that gets promoted, how much people watch, it's
Oh, that
amazing.
would be lit.
But getting back to the game, yeah, the first half was, man, that was brutal. But I don't know, maybe they got a pep talk, maybe they went over some had something, a fire just lit under their ass.
Mhm. It was
I think
Frank Vogel, man. He probably gave him a good talking to, or what a lot of people were saying on Twitter was Braun FaceTimed him and just lit their asses up,
I think
probably.
I think Braun gave him a call for real. And speaking of
Braun put the
Vogel,
call in. Yep.
yeah, I think it was a well coached game. For as much as maybe I'm hard on Vogel, or even like, I think we have great, really good defensive players, but it starts with the coach. And for us to give up less than 9, in the NBA in 2021, if you don't let a team score 100, that's kind of a big deal.
Mhm.
And they didn't score 90. So, because then, like I said, now teams are just, the pace is crazy. Everyone's encouraged to shoot. So, good defensive performance. The first half was super ugly. They nutted up. They fought hard in the second half. Great energy from Schroeder and especially Montrez. Whatever was happening in the first half, I'm glad they turned it around.
Yeah, in that first half, I was thinking to myself so much, I'm like, "Oh, we look awful right now," or, "Oh god." There was that do you remember that one play where, it might have been Caruso or Schroeder, they tried to give a alley-oop to Keith, but of course, he's not gonna jam it, he can't get up that high.
And he missed the
Um,
layup.
he missed a layup, he said, "Okay, I'll just catch it close to the rim, and I'll just kinda,
And
I'll
he
just kinda
missed
push
it.
it in," and he missed it, and I'm like, "Oh god, it's gonna be one of those nights, Jesus
He
Christ."
missed it. I know.
It was looking bad, but during a lot of that a lot of those times where I was thinking we look awful, I would look at the score, I'm like, "But we're only down 4." And then I was like,
Right,
"Oh,
right.
the Cavs are trash offensively like us right now." So that's gonna be I was like, "Okay, I think we got a chance." That 3rd quarter came around, man, and the defense just dialed up, and they looked like that Laker defense again without LeBron, without AD, our 2 best our 2 best defenders pretty much, when it comes to just, like, play for play. So that was really good to see, as rudimentary as we can look offensively, if we just get that fire lit under us, whether it's through Frank Vogel or if Braun is FaceTiming them from the hyperbaric chamber while he's recovering his ankle, we can bring that, and that was encouraging to see him do it in that second half. It's hard to expect him to do it for the full 48, especially in this condensed schedule, man. That was our second night of a back to back. Great to see him get that win, though, man. I think we got the Magic on Sunday. What are you thinking about that game?
Yeah, that's really, if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I would have said, like, whatever, it's a Sunday night against the Magic, but, it
Especially
now
if we
you look.
had Braun, it's like, yeah, take care of
Right.
business. Come on.
And now you look at it like that is a really important game, man. The Magic are in, well, I don't know what they're in, but they just traded their best player. Um,
The best
they
two.
their best 2 players, they
And
waived.
Fournier too. They
Yeah.
like three, the
So
best three. Shit.
three of their most important and without question best players are gone. So I think they waived Jeff Teague today. Um, so they don't even have a backup point guards. Like, look, man, eh, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's a must win. They can't lose to the Magic at home. Every game is crucial. Um, you know, I'll give you what was it? The game against Philly that they lost, but like tomorrow they cannot lose that game. Not to a team that has traded their 3 most important and an all-star player. You're at home. They just I don't care if they win by a point or by 20. They just have to win tomorrow.
I after that Cleveland effort, I have faith in the defense again, It really comes down to their communication, like their kind of will to win. They just had a whole new life into them in that second half in the Cleveland game. If they can bring that at least for a half or 3 quarters, maybe not the full 48, I feel pretty good because we still got those transition points, and that might be the best way to generate looks. Just that hard defense on the perimeter, making them turn the ball over, get those transition points, man. That's what we got to feed on.
Yeah,
But I'm with
absolutely.
you, dude. It is a must-win game against the Magic, just because these standings are so tight, and I'm expecting to fall into play-in game territory, honestly, because the playing game range is so big, it's fucking 7th seed to 9th seed, yeah? Or no, 7 to 10? I believe
Right.
7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so
7 to 10. And yeah, like the idea for me is by mid-April, LeBron and AD come back, right? And when I say mid-April, I'm probably leaning towards like maybe like the 18th of April. So that's really like the 3rd week, right? And I'm thinking, okay, by then we might be in like play-in territory, like 7th place. But I'm hoping, I'm being optimistic that, they're in 7th place and then LeBron AD come back and they just push us out of that game.
that'd be great, wouldn't that?
Right, because I mean, yeah, I'm confident when we're healthy, but no one wants to be in a playing game. A playing game is like best of 2, and you don't want to get involved in that. So yeah, my rationale is thinking, okay, let's say we fall to seventh place. And again, I'm not saying they will, but let's say worst case scenario, seventh place, mid-April. LeBron and AD come back. Okay, LeBron and AD will get us the hell out of seventh, right? Um, like if all goes well. But like these types of games on against the Magic, they have to win. And like you said, they have to. I think some of the things from Friday night will carry over, especially like our defensive like attention and focus against the offense against an Orlando team that really doesn't have they don't have any real playmakers right now. They don't have a go-to bucket getter. They're
Mhm.
depleted, they're completely depleted. So, as far as something carrying over to tomorrow, I definitely think our defensive um, energy, obviously what we're looking for is somewhere along the middle where our offense kind of can get close to our defense. That would be a perfect world.
Guys making open shots just goes a long way, man. And we're
Yeah,
seeing
make
guys
some
like Heat
open
get
shots. Yes.
yeah, the open ones because the open ones seem like the hardest ones for the Lakers over the last year or two. Um, Surprisingly, man, we're only in fourth place. Based on how bad we've looked, you think we would have slid a little bit more, but we're fourth. We are 5.5 behind first place. Um, and yeah, the schedule's going to get a little more tough though, so we might just be expecting a little bit of a slide. We got Orlando, and then I think we got the Bucks right after that. Yes, we do. We got the Bucks on Wednesday, and then the Kings, and then the Clippers, and then the Raptors, and then the Heat, and then the Nets. So it's like, okay, I hope we win that Kings, maybe that Raptors game. But if we are going against, like Kyrie and Harden, we're just going to need to have a godlike night from shooting to somewhat, keep ourselves in those kinds of games. Hey, maybe we'll get it somehow, but who knows, man? Magic is a must win on Sunday, and it's got a weird start time too. You were talking about weird start times the other day. That's a 7 p.m. Sunday game.
Yeah, that is a little strange. A Sunday, I'm kind of expecting, um, a Sunday I would expect like the early matinee because I remember, we wear the Sunday whites on ABC, 12:30 start, or maybe like 6:30 p.m. At 7 p.m. on a Sunday. It's a little a little bit later than usual. So hopefully
Yeah,
everybody's just like ready to go.
I know. When I think of Sunday games, I think of the Sunday whites, and I think of like a game like noon to two. Like you get some lunch
Exactly.
or whatever. You watch the Lakers, and usually they put like shit on Sundays. I hope that pattern doesn't continue because we need that win, man. Um, so yeah, that's the Magic game. They need that win, and I think I trust Frank to understand the situation of the team. I trust the players to also understand the situation of the team. I think they know exactly what's going on. This is their job. This is their life. It just comes down to execution, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that Cleveland win was a real chemistry builder for the role player guys because you didn't have Braun or AD to bail you out, man. That was you guys did that. Like it was things were looking really hopeless, but that could be a real chemistry builder. And if they face adversity in Orlando, maybe that memory can help them push through and get that win.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That I think that about covers it for the games. Well, I want to talk about the trade deadline. So since our last pod, the trade deadline came and went. Lakers didn't end up making any moves, but there are rumors about a Kyle Lowry for Dennis Schroeder, KCP, THT, and I believe a pick, but it didn't end up coming to fruition. What do you think of how they handled the trade deadline, man?
I mean, when I first saw the news about Lowry, I was pretty excited. I was like, man, they could get Kyle Lowry. That is exactly who can help us repeat. A lineup of Lowry, healthy AD, healthy LeBron. That was really exciting. I know Lowry's 35, but he's still man. That guy is a professional. That's a gamer. Having said that, like you said, I also read some notes that the Raptors wanted KCP, Schroeder, THT, and our first round pick. And to
Mm-hmm.
me, I think that is pretty steep. As far as um, trading for Lowry, who is, like I said, he's 35, and you need him to sign basically a 2-year extension because you want him to align with LeBron, obviously, who LeBron's going to play 2 more years. Maybe he wants to play until he's 40. I wouldn't doubt it, but whatever. I'm talking about the Lakers right now, 2 more years.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I trust Rob Pelinka not making the move. I think the Raptors tried to. I think they tried to strong arm us. And you know when Rob traded, BI and Lonzo and a gazillion picks to get Anthony Davis, I read this article about Anthony Davis on Sports Illustrated. And basically, we traded for Anthony Davis. And then a month later, free agency happened. And the article was talking about how Anthony Davis, he was excited about this new transition, yada, yada. But he was saying that he was getting like so like almost annoyed by Palinka because um, Palinka would literally text him like every 10 minutes about what his opinion was about a free agency signing, right?
I remember reading something like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, so and it's a really good article. And so yeah, so Palinka's texting him every 10 minutes, yo, AD, what do you think about this guy? Can we get this guy? Do I got stamp of a? And the point I'm just trying to make is that I find it hard to believe Palinka didn't get the co-sign from LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
If Anthony Davis and LeBron were like, "Yo, you got to get Kyle Lowry," I think Rob would have just been like, "You know what? Fine, done deal." I think he spoke with them, and I understand why the trade didn't go through.
You
Sorry,
think it,
I want to
you
let you talk there.
I just had a thought. You think if it was Schroeder, KCP, and a pick, would you have done it?
Yes.
I think I would have done it too.
Yeah, Schroeder, KCP in the pick for me. That I'm in on that.
Hmm. Masai was
I
trying to
think
fleece us though. He's like, I got the leverage. I'm gonna see what I can.
yeah, I think he wanted THT and the pick. And like, look, man, I think what Rob is doing is he Rob is like I think Palinka is trying to cover like all three bases. He wants a team that can is better than our championship team, a team that can contend this year, but also next year, and also like 3 years down the road. When I'm looking at it, I'm like Dennis Schroeder and Montrez are 28 years old. Those are guys right in their prime that align. And then LeBron is 36 and THC is 20. So yeah, if the trade was Schroeder, our pick, and KCP for Lowry, I think that's worth it. But yeah, like I said, I think he tried to strong arm us. Think it was steep, and I also think he speaks to LeBron and AD about these things. If they would have said do it, he would have done it.
I think that's an important point, and I don't think it's been getting talked about a whole bunch, at least by non-Laker people. A lot. It's pretty split, and I'd say people who aren't Laker fans are like, "Why don't you capitalize on LeBron's winner right now? What the hell is THT that special?" And that's I'd say that's within half the fan base too. That were like, "Yo, Lowry would help us big time. Make the deal, pull the trigger." But half are like, "No, THT is good," and this is where I stand at it too. THT is good. He could be great for Anthony Davis down the line. But if we lose Schroeder and KCP, we lose two of our best perimeter defenders. We
Right,
lose, and even though KCP has his cold streaks, he can be a sniper. We lose a sniper, a guy who's proven in the playoffs in the bubble last year. And Schroeder, we lose a piece for the future. He's kind of been up and down in this stretch. We kind of hope for bigger things from Schroeder, while
right,
the two big guys were out. We'd hope he show a little bit more leadership and a willingness to step up around the offense. It's still early, but we haven't seen that like step up to the plate big time effort from Schroeder. Though the Cavs game was pretty good, and he did have an okay game statistically against Philly. Um, yeah, basically, man, I think that would have been too much. It would have been bad for our future, and I think it would have been bad for our continuity and our chemistry. Lowry's a great piece, but you also got to figure out, okay, he knows Mark. He's got to get to know the habits of the other players. He'd get thrown in. It's not a guarantee that he would be able to make it work this year. There's less than half of the regular season remaining, and then we're in the playoffs. Who knows who else is going to be in and out of the lineup? Things are pretty uncertain. Palinka kind of took a conservative approach. He said, Okay, I think I'm just going to stick to my guns here because we forget how good the Lakers look with healthy LeBron and healthy AD, man. It's been a while since we saw that. We haven't even seen healthy AD all year. And I think Pelinka kind of kept that in mind. I think LeBron and AD kept that in mind too, which is why those three didn't pull the trigger. So, yeah,
Yep.
that's a good point you bring up about Pelinka always consulting LeBron and AD because, shit, communication like that is good. Um, I trust in Rob to kind of foresee every scenario. There's a reason that Kobe stuck with him for so many years. If someone like Kobe sticks with him like that, then shit, man, I'm gonna have trust in him.
Yeah, all the way.
hmm we got that game against Sunday against the Magic, man, and I think we did okay during the trade deadline. But another thing I kind of want to touch on too with this deal not going through, I think there's inevitably going to be a lot of fans slaying the shit out of THT for every little mistake he makes. And just want to say, people, please do not waste your time to do that. Just the fact
Yeah.
that the deal didn't get done. And if we don't win a championship with this current roster, it's more than likely going to be because we didn't make threes or because LeBron and AD aren't healthy. I think we
Right.
still have enough to beat even the Nets who just added LaMarcus Aldridge. Great, another amazing, offensive creator. Them might be a little washed, but he doesn't address the rim protection still. Lowry would have been nice. He would have been amazing to play next to LeBron. Ideal. Bronze championship window is short. We all know that, but I think we still have enough to win, man. Giving up THT and two starters, I don't think that was the way to go. You got any last thoughts on the trade deadline or anything Lakers related, man?
I mean, yeah, I think that was. I'm glad we got to talk about the trade deadline because there was obviously so much convo about that. It seems like maybe at some point tomorrow we'll sign Drummond. Um,
Yes, sir. It's looking
so
good.
yeah, man, I think that's obviously I think you said it. You said Rob Pelinka stuck to his guns. It's definitely feels that way. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to improve. We can sign Drummond like tomorrow. They could still get a shooter and a wing, which is what they need. They definitely need another shooter. And
hmm
they can get one in the buyout market. I don't know. There's a lot in the buyout that has to happen. First, a player has to agree, right, with the team. Has to be a mutual thing. And then after that, the player he gets to choose. So it's not just like, oh well, I'm going to city A, B, or C. They have to, they got to decide. But I think Drummond should be happening tomorrow. He'll be a very welcome addition, especially with AD out. A really good rebounder. I'm not gonna lie, besides that, I'm not gonna expect much. But at the same time, LeBron gets the most out of pretty average big men. I mean, he got fucking Timofey Mozgov $70 million, man.
hmm
So let's think people are like killing Drummond, and no, I'm not expecting Drummond to be this all-star, but LeBron gets the most out of these big guys. And as far as the team, yeah, we can shake some things up. We can waive maybe a McKinney or a Dudley and get a shooter and a wing, which is what we need. I think we desperately need one more shooter and a wing. So
I think so too.
I
Yeah.
think we're gonna do something. I think we'll make a couple more moves.
Yeah, and about LeBron bringing out the best in people, Frank Vogel too. He made Roy Hibbert a Defensive Player of the Year, didn't he? Didn't he
Great
win that
point.
award? He
Great
made
point.
him. I don't remember if he was Defensive Player of the Year, but he made him a like the best big man defender in the
Dude, he
NBA
made
for a
him
short stretch.
serviceable. Serviceable. Excuse me. Roy Hibbert stinks.
I
Okay.
know we know that shit firsthand, but if we get Drummond and his skill set, dude, I'm very confident what Frank can do with him.
Yeah,
So
that's a very good point, man. Also, I'm glad you brought up Vogel. Vogel got he Mac. Obviously, they didn't make it to the finals because they ran into LeBron. But man, he made those Pacers teams were absolute hell. Um,
mhm.
so I think LeBron maximizes obviously everyone around him, and Frank Vogel will get the most out of Drummond. He's still a talented player. I don't expect crazy things from him. But Frank Vogel, I think, with his mindset and schemes, he'll get the most out of him.
Yeah, as great as Vogel is on defense, it LeBron bringing out kind of makes me appreciate how much of his decision making and how much of his play goes into how the offense works because shit, dude, These guys have looked very lost at times with no LeBron on the floor.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, just like they've looked in the times when LeBron is sat, and even with AD on the floor, you'd think they would be a little bit better, but it just goes to show you how ingrained he is in the system. So, but we gotta keep the ship afloat while he is out. I still think get as much rest as he can. April 18th, it'd be great to get him back at around a date like that because that'd give him about a month left to ramp up. Yeah, ideally, I'd still have a month for him to ramp up, but I have a feeling it might be somewhere around like 2 to 3 weeks. So overall, I'm still feeling good about this team, man. And that Cleveland win made me feel, at peace for a second.
Same.
But my peace might be disturbed if they put up some bullshit against the Magic. So
Yeah.
let's
If
hope for the best.
my mood will be a whole lot different after tomorrow. Like because it just is what it is, bro. There's certain games I look at and I'm like, all right, well, whatever. It's an L. We don't have LeBron and AD, but like tomorrow, that's one you just got to take. I'll give you. Well, what is it like Wednesday? They're playing the Bucks. Look, man, that's an L. But
Yeah, Giannis
like
is going to turn into prime Shaq. But
like I already know what that is. But tomorrow, let's
I'm
come
taking
on.
Giannis in fantasy. That's the one thing I know for sure.
Yes, here they're not going to beat the Bucks, man. They're not. But
Yeah.
win tomorrow. Just stay afloat in these standings. Don't be in any of this nonsense with this playing game. Fingers crossed, and let's see what happens.
But imagine if they do pull out a win against someone like the Bucks or the Clippers, dude.
True, the
It's gonna
Clippers.
be
Yeah, give me a
legendary.
win against the Clippers with nobody playing. That'd be great.
That would make my week, dude. If we if we could somehow pull out one against the Clippers with our role players, oh man, that'll be beautiful. I'll just put that out in the universe and let's see if it
Yeah,
turns
I'm
into
just gonna
something.
put it out there.
Yeah, let's see if it turns into something. That about wraps up my thoughts, man. You got anything else?
That was it for me, man. Let's get a win tomorrow. Let's get Drummond signed tomorrow, and
Mhm.
things will start to project up, man, for sure.
Great stuff, man. Always great having you on. Take it easy.
Thanks. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, later.